connect, serve, and grow is what you can expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell. www.houseofreconciliation.org.
All right. I want to say good afternoon and thank all of you that are joining us, those that are part of our virtual campus, and of course to our mother church, the Greenwood campus, House of Reconciliation here at the Greenville campus, as well as our virtual campus. I didn't get a chance, I don't think, to do it on Sunday. We had a couple things going on, but I know we can say the upstate, but I just want to give presidents to the Greenville, the Greenwood, Spartanburg, Charlotte, Simpsonville, Lawrence, Clinton, Malden, Anderson, New York, New Haven, Connecticut, as well as the state of Ohio and Roanoke, Virginia, and of course California and our Midwesterners. I want to thank you for tuning in, and also to the top countries that are following the House of Reconciliation: Nigeria, Jamaica, the Philippines, Kenya, South Africa, Canada, Iran, Libya, Vietnam. And Great Britain. We are thankful for all of you, and for those who enjoyed the broadcast on Sunday, even though we had some technical difficulties. I want to thank you for the numbers increase. Please like, share, and post. Don't hesitate to take something that we've said and hashtag it and share it with someone. This book is critical, as they are predicting that by the end of the year or the first of the year that we will be headed into another level of recession. Even though the recession and inflation has come down tremendously, there are still elements that we cannot control, so it is always wise. And this book is phenomenal. Basic financial steps that teach you how to make your money work for you. If you were to get that, I'm quite sure as you read it, and every third Wednesday I talk about basic financial steps. We talked in August about without risk, there's no reward. There's a target on your back. Adjust to the adjustment. You stuck again. Didn't know if you knew that you were being graded. Now we come into the month of September, and that is the number 9, which means the fruit of the Spirit. So we're going to do, and it's going to be thick and impactful, because every time at the first of the month you have to set the precedents. So this is going to have a little weight, and I'm going to try to push it a little bit. So I recommend a couple things. 1, take notes. Number 2, review the notes you take, and sometimes you have to replay it. That is one of the greatest things about social media, that is that you can go back and listen to it at your convenience. I share with you a fact that if you listen and re-listen, that it will give you the nuggets that you're going to need to make a difference in your life. Now we're going to talk about the transitional pain, but what we're going to talk about this evening is, what is it? Dream killers. I have it down, but I'm trying to go through dream killers. Now, for those who are in the hermeneutics and hermeneutics who want scriptural, we're going to really study from the book of Galatians this month. Galatians 5, verse 22 and 23. Galatians 5 and 1 is where our base principle is going to come from. One of the things that I want to deal with is belief and identity. What we're going to deal with, one of the core, which I call maybe on the right side of it, is Romans 12, 1 and 2. But here's the thing. Winning the war in our head is critical to finding ourselves and finding peace. Galatians 5 and 1, Galatians 5 and 1, stand fast in the liberty. Many people don't know that they're free. They think because of the pigment of their skin, the country that they live in, who's ahead of them, they don't think they're free. And so winning the war in our head is critical to finding ourselves. So when we talk about transitional pain, so please hashtag that, transitional pain. I want you to know one thing from the spiritual side. God is not a man that he should lie. When God said he has no respect of person, he did not put one race above another race. He did not put one country above another country. In fact, from an analytical standpoint, he chose the Jews because they were the smallest nation at that time in Africa. So then the question becomes, in transitional pain, is that we have to understand for everything that you're going to do. We just heard that first graders are now being tested. Well, how many weeks they've been in school? 2? 5 weeks? Okay. And now they're getting the test. So they're having to learn pressure and stress even in the first grade. I did not know that you would wind up repeating kindergarten. There was a time when I came along with dinosaurs and walking with Moses and cleaning Jesus' sandals, is the fact that you just got passed on. And now you have to meet certain criteria. And so sometime in life, we don't believe that there are things that we have to overcome. So knowing that God is not a man that he should lie, so the question becomes who you're going to trust. We talked about peeling back the layers of previous hurt and pain that makes the present pain feels frightening. You have a challenge today or tomorrow. You're going to have a challenge this week that hasn't been in your life before. And if you can't handle the present, you're never prepared for the pain of the future because it becomes unimaginable. And so most people stay stuck in their past. There are two contrasting categories of work here. One is the works of the flesh versus the fruit of the Spirit. Listen, you and I can be free with the same mind that trapped us. And we're going to dig in that today a little bit with dream killers. I want you to really take a note of that. You cannot be free. I don't care what you have, what you buy, you cannot be free. So now one of the key things that I want you to write for those that are writing is stop killing yourself over stumbling blocks. Stumbling blocks becomes your obstacle course. Stumbling blocks is what builds your strength, your resiliency. A quick scripture that you can note is Matthew 11:28. The Lord Jesus extended an invitation to learn deeply. And so where we're going is figuring out why our seeds are not producing. Sometimes the seed is not rooted in you. It just hits the surface. And so this comes out of the first. The first is Matthew 11:28 and 29. He says it this way: "Come unto me, all ye that labor." Remember, I talk about we're either struggling from, struggling with, or struggling to. And most people cannot identify which one they're in. He says, and heavy laden. In other words, I'm carrying the burden and the responsibility of generational curses on my shoulders. I'm being broken by my past. I'm being infiltrated by my future. And so I don't have rest. I don't have peace of mind. He says, take my yoke upon me. In other words, let's go to the trading block. And I want you to come and learn. See, many times, too many people are trying to tell Jesus what to do. And all about their pain. And he says, come unto me, take my yoke and learn of me. For I am meek, lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest for your souls. Now, here's where I really want to get to, and this is why I started a little early, the root cause. The root cause is basically, where are you planted? So for those who really want to get ahead, here is the study background. Matthew 13:5 and 6, Mark 4:3 through verse 27. I'll say that again. The root cause. This is where we're going. Transitional pain. See, every level of pain has purpose. Every level of pain has a curve and a direction. Every level of pain has an intense level. Every level of pain is there to birth something in us that we can manifest outside of us. So those who want to get ahead on the root cause, study Matthew 13:5 and 6, Mark 4, verse 3 through verse 27. Now I'm going to give you some nuggets for those who like them and read them. Sight, number one, sight and hearing will cause one to try to save everyone. We're dealing with the root cause, dream killers. Many times we're trying to save everyone but ourselves. The Bible says save yourself. Here's an example. Most people, I would hope, has had the opportunity and experience to fly. When you get on there, nobody wants to pay attention to the flight attendant. But she has a very strong message. She says, in case of an emergency, a mask will drop out of the air. Before you try to help anybody, put your mask on first. How can you help someone and you slide down the hill yourself with no brakes? So here's the thing. That's exactly what the dream killers want. They want us to focus more on what we don't have, who we can help, rather than focus on developing ourselves. Now, here is what we should be doing. We are supposed to give information. Here is what we're supposed to do. Tell them how to gather the resources and move on. There's a text in the Bible that says if they don't receive your word, shake the dust off your feet and move on. Here's what happens. Here's a trap. Here's one of the root causes. Instead, we become their lifeline. Aunt Betty, I'm in trouble again. Uncle Ray, can you help me out again? And by the way, hello, my brother Ray. If you're not watching, I'm going to punch you in the throat. So you need to send a text. You done called me today. I called you back. So would you text him? I was trying to tell him to text you, but he laughed and text him and tell him that we're on live because he's an older cat. I love Ray. I'd be crying if something happened to him. And so I talked to him today, and he's like, when you on? I said, we'll be on about 6:40. So text him and let him know that we're on. See, people try to make you their lifeline, and it hinders you from going on with your life. And at the end of the day, it leaves you empty, overdrawn. So when we talk about dream killers, they are Lord, I can't get it right. Parasitical parasites. Now, for those that want to get ahead, I want you to think about this for you and your children. There was a time in upscale restaurants that when you were getting ready for your next entree, they would bring you lime sherbet. And there was something in the lime sherbet that would change and clean your palate. To the parents and to young people and to older people, our palate needs to be shaped for our youth. What do you mean? You need to shape your children's palates now. What they see in the community, who they associate with, what they watch on television, who they go to the skating ring with, because the most exposed are the best developed. We say to ourselves, well, my child would never do this and my grandchild would never do that. They get in the wrong company, they do anything. And if parents doesn't change their palates, much of the same trash that you eat, they're going to eat. They produce what you feed them. You feed them poverty, they produce poverty. You feed them bad language, they produce bad language. You don't care about education and reading and museums and cultural arts, they won't care. Because as soon as their nature wakes up, it's very hard to get their focus back. So real quick, dream killers. Here are 10 things, the 10 top things that kill dreams. Number 1, it kills creativity. Dream killers. Let me say it this way. There are spirits and people that hunt your future. So, well, why is that critical? If you study the seed, it's going to take some time for your seed to germinate and begin to develop. And just when you're starting to come up, there's a rodent that wants to cut you down. If you ever watch and traveled and along the roads in the Midwest, they have like plastic tube PVC pipes. So when the plant comes up, because of the rodents, they'll eat it up because it's tender and it's sweet and it's moist. There are people that want to destroy your future. Everybody's not your friend. Dream killers, kills creativity, kills identity. What do you mean? I think it was, I can't think of the guy's name. He does something with finding your history. Louis Gates, I believe. Yes, he says, if you don't have a past, you don't have a future. If you don't know what and who and where you come from, forming an identity in your present is challenging. It's important to know the failures and the success of the previous generations. Because I don't know what you think, but that's where you got your gifts from. Number 3, it kills faith. There are people every day that's trying to destroy what you believe. Ask me why. They have no hope for themselves. Number 1, they kill creativity. What do you mean? Well, I think I want to start. What you want to start your business for? You're trying to create an identity and a legacy for your own. What you gonna do that for? Why you? So they want to kill your creativity, kill your identity, kill your faith. And if they kill your creativity, kill your identity, kill your faith, they've just killed your opportunities. Now you become the hamster on the wheel. Yes. Well, who gonna shank you? The person up on the 15th floor is not going to shank you. It's those in your village who will shank you. So if it kills your opportunity, then now your dreams, number 5, have been compassated. What do they call it when they capitate somebody? Decapitated. Number 5, it kills. It decapitates your dreams. So if you don't have dreams, then what do you pass on to your grandchildren? What do you pass on to your children? Your brokenness? Your debt? What do you pass on? You're not smiling, Grandpa. Hell, it's hard out here. It's hard on the yard. Yes. So there are people that continue to, because here's the thing. When you're unhappy, just like when you're hungry. You ever been hungry? You go to the grocery store or you at the drive-thru and you just starving. You know, you can get the little meal, but you want the big meal. You get the little TV, but you want the big TV. You get the little shoes, but you want the big shoes. You get 1 pair, but you want 5 pair. Because here's the other thing it kills. Number 6, it kills your preparation. When you have no creativity, no identity, no opportunity, no dreams, you have no preparation. Number 7, when there's no preparation, it kills passion. See, people want to drain you. So they create stumbling blocks for you, because then they're gonna pull out your passion. Because you know what? People are not successful who don't prepare. The one that's always talking many times is the least that's prepared. It's the one that looks across the court at you, like last night on the tennis court, and say, yes, you're ranked higher than I am, and yes, I am not ranked, but I come to beat you today. So you better play like a number 10, because I'm not even, I have nothing to lose. If it kills your passion, number 8, it kills your vision. Even if God has embedded it in you, it kills your vision. If it kills your vision, number 9, it kills your future. So are you living to build or living to survive? Because number 10 is critical. It kills your reality. And once it kills your reality, then you're no longer authentic. So if God was going to send you something, it's authentic from God, from an authentic creature that he made. How does he put something authentic in something that's synthetic? Here's what happens. Thinking that you can reach the next level with the same ingredients and information that you have now is impossible. Here is what most people don't get. The seed is your mindset. If your seed or your mindset is contaminated before you ever plant anything, then it can't do anything productive for you. Negativity never breeds positivity. Negativity breeds negative things. The Bible says it this way. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. Sometimes you pausing your own opportunity. If your mind, which is the seed, the planting ground, how can you progress if you are against learning? Here's what the masses do. Don't let people manipulate you. Because he or she is upset, so you let him or her have his way. Quit fighting the solution that you have to listen to learn. Quit fighting certifications. Quit fighting credentials. Quit fighting leveling yourself up. Quit fighting it. Quit saying, I'm going to go back and do it. These are dream killers. Quit saying it's not for me. That's a lie. Dream killers. The negativity in my mind. I'd rather do than listen. If you do is temporary. Listening takes you farther than doing. Why? It cuts down on your mistakes. You will know how to do the next thing. It will cause your mind to start clicking. Pay attention to the details so the task can be completed. Quit worrying about identifying and bringing honor to yourself. Complete the task. Pay attention to the details to complete the task. When you complete the task, no one can take that value away from you. Here's some things. God is wanting to plant in you. What do you mean? He wants to plant in you so then there's a harvest in you. If he can never plant in you, then everything that we possess becomes artificial. The Bible says all flesh is as grass, as chaff, which the winds. Will you allow God to plant in you? In order to do that, here are some things that have to happen. I didn't number these. Number 1 is hear. You have to hear to listen. Number 2 is listen. You have to listen to learn. Number 3 is learn. Most people can't do this. For my grandchildren, these are things that I tell them. I let them have their freedom, and then I'll pull them to the side and say, come here, baby. Papa, I got to tell you something. You got to hear first. Because you're running on your own ideology. You're running off of your own impulse. You're running off of what your mind will lie to you. You cannot believe everything your mind says. Do anybody remember the 4 things that I gave you? Illusions, hallucination, imagination, your mind will tell you, oh, they talking about you. Don't nobody want you there. They don't like you. It'd be better if you quit. How can they breathe the air and you can't breathe the air? So hear, listen, learn, adopt. Most people hear you. Some will listen, some will learn. But adopt means you got to put it into action. Then you have to adapt to it. Transitional pain. I just tell people, how many of us are guilty of saying, I just give people a piece of my mind. Your mind all over town. That's true. Come on, think about it. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Your mind all on social media. Your mind down on Instagram corner. Your mind over here on Snapchat. Your mind all over the place. Your mind down the highway. You done flipped 3 people off and you were the one wrong at the red light. Your mind all over the place. Your mind stuck on coffee. Your mind stuck on what Quita did back in 1985. Your mind stuck on Big Whip Lily, what he did. Your mind everywhere else. How can you handle today if your mind is out of town? Adopt. After you adopt this, now you have the pain to adapt. Come on and say it to me. We're almost done. So I don't want to adapt. I want everybody to do what I do what I say do. I don't want to change. I want everybody around me to change. If you can't adapt, then you can't process. Because to get to where you're supposed to be, men, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to process new information. You can't do what your daddy did. My daddy just shot at that man. You just can't go outside and start shooting at people now. You just can't run the red light. You might get by one time, but you're going to run into something or run into somebody or kill somebody or hurt a child or run over somebody walking because you're all in your feelings. So here we go. Here, we agree. Listen, learn, adopt, adapt, process. Now, what do you think is next? And what shows that you have processed something? It's because now you're going to do the prep work. Prep. What do you mean prep? Get the ingredients. Well, I want that position. Have you gotten that certification? I gotta have that. Yeah, you gotta have it. So if I prep, now I can prepare, and it makes me smarter when I plant. Now, once you have planted, let the God and the earth do what it do. So now it's executed. You've done your part. Here's what I say. Many people want the fruit, but God has given the seeds. Anything sustainable, you're just not going to be able to walk in. And this is a lesson personally that I've had to learn. No matter what you know or what you think you know, you're going to have to evolve for the next level and the next chapter in your life. You want the fruit when God's giving the seed. Well, why? I don't understand. Transitional pain. You're going to have to change, my friend. You're going to have to evolve, my brother. You're going to have to evolve, my sister. The mind you had on the first floor won't work on the third floor. It won't work. It will not work. So you want the fruit. We want it all packaged. If you want it all packaged, then you don't understand its value and how long it took. Because as soon as you consume it, you're going to want what's next. Here is the thing. The field is there to be planted. Ask me, why is it a field? There are different types of seasons that brings different types of harvesting. There's a time that you're going to harvest learning. There's a time that you're going to harvest the product. There's a time that you're going to have to sow in the field. And so where this is going to take 6 weeks and 6 days or 6 months or 6 years to come up to mature, you should have something already coming up that you can put your attention on, because you can't look at this for 6 years. You look at that wall for 6 months, somebody going to put you up. If every day you sit here, you're going to open the book? You're going to read the book? What you doing? I'm just going to look at it. There are different things you need to be working on so the other things won't consume all your attention and you lose your patience. See, you're losing your patience over seeds you planted yesterday. You're losing your patience over seeds that you planted last month. A person that begins an extended education, you start school in August, you don't graduate August the 2nd. Why is there no patience in the developing of your seed? The dream killer wants you to buy what you see so you will never use your mind to think of what you can build. I'll say it again. The dream killer wants you to buy what you see so you will never think of the possibilities of what you can build. And as long as you're buying, you'll never have. As long as you produce, you will always have something to trade. Buying is the last end of the product line. You ever had something and you wanted to go back and they don't make that model anymore? You ever thought? They don't make that model anymore. And you're like, well, I really enjoyed that. Was my favorite. As you said, sir, was. We have a new model. Here is the thing. Get to the root. As you study it, I gave you the scriptures. I don't have them right in front of me. Get to the root so you can change your fruit. Get to the root cause. Are you here because it's going to bring you immediate gratification? Are you here because people are going to like you? It's going to give you this thrill? Are you here for the fanfare? That doesn't last long. Are you here to be developed? I was talking with a chef, and he said, most people are like hot grease. I said, what do you mean? He says, you put the oil in, and it's there. He said, but when you start to turn up the temperature, it'll start popping and flying out of the pan. So many people want you to be flying and popping and never stable. Because sometimes the people that are talking to you, they're not saying anything worth listening to. So they fill your mind with wannabes. They fill your mind with junk. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you, the media team, my subject on Sunday. And I know somebody going to take off and run with it. I mean, it's okay. And I'm going to tell you why. Get to the root, you can change the fruit. One of the biggest things keeping people from accomplishing their goal is lack of focus and resources. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you this one. I'm going to do my best to get to it on Sunday. We talk about I'm still in pain. Why? Because hope is not a strategy. So on Sunday, unless the Lord change it, hope, transitional pain. Hope is not a strategy. So many people have preached to you and talked to you about hope, and God's gonna do it. No, He not. Him not gonna do it. You're not gonna get to sit on the bench. We ain't in that time. And so people have sold you hope, but hope is not a strategy. I know that didn't make you feel good. Because here's what happens. We're following our mood and not the will of God. Fake realities leads to dark outcomes. So I say this as I close. We are responsible as parents, as grandparents, as great-grandparents. We need to reshape the palette of the future. There are certain principles and infrastructure that every person and every child is going to need. I said this on Sunday. People who have seeds can plant them in the earth. People who have faith in God and the birthright of God can not only plant in earth, but in heaven. When you begin to plant, here's what most people have never told you. You are a citizen of heaven, but while you are a citizen of earth, you prosper. God bless you. I'll see you soon.